Live from Toast Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. Toast. Toast empowers the restaurant community to delight guests, do what they love, and thrive. Jimmy, that's a mouthful for a sponsor.
Well done, Chachi. You did that very, very well.
We got a great guest. And
yes, we do.
10 minutes late. Rob's getting edgy. I can smell it.
Let's dive in. Listen, I have the privilege of welcoming you all more formally to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders at Branded Hospitality get to share their insights and bring innovation, technology, and emerging brands, growing brands, special brands that are favorite of my daughter.
Still my thunder there, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's
basically opening my line.
They're making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I'll pass it back to my boy, Mr. Schatzberg, a.k.a. the restaurant guy.
Thanks for the introduction, Jimbo. And always listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And by the way, we are the founders of Branded Hospitality. We are the voices behind the Hospitality Hangout. And I got to tell you, we are at the intersection, Jimmy, of hospitality, technology, innovation, capital, burgers, Crinkle-Cut fries, right?
Crinkle-Cut fries.
Shakes, really delicious shakes, right?
Yes.
Anyway, I got to tell you, Jimmy, before we get going, you know what? I was thinking last night, I had dinner at Isabel's, one of our restaurants downstairs. You know it well.
Yes.
And there were a whole group of toasters were there having dinner. Yeah, it was really nice. So a lot of the toasters, they were there eating a beautiful dinner with Uber people. The Ubers and the toasters were having dinner together. And I got to tell you, it was interesting. I came over to say hello. There were like 12 people. And they're like, what should we get, Shatsy? And I'm like, and I went through a whole order of what they should get, right? And I'm like, you get this. I'm just giving you the high level. These are the things you have to get. Then I go over to back to where I'm having dinner with some other people, and then I go back on the table. So they didn't listen to anything I said. They went completely rogue. I'm like, guys, you didn't do one thing I said. Not one. I don't see one person. Well, you said Lamaki. I got the Lamaki. One Lamaki. That's the best pasta we got there. Anyway, it was very funny. It was nice seeing our friends at Toast, and it just reminds me, Jimmy, that Toast is really doing some great things for operators. Our restaurants have been on the Toast platform for a long time. All 20 of our restaurants. So I just wanted to say one thing to you. We love Toast. ToastTab.com. That is the new jingle.
That's the new jingle?
That's the new jingle.
Did Kelly say okay to that?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not ever?
I feel like if I just got to work it up a little bit more, and I feel like I can get it. But I got to tell you, we are really excited because ToastTab.com, Jimmy, they are really doing some great things for restaurants. They have over 175,000 restaurants now on the platform. And, no one likes to change point-of-sale systems. It's always a big, and our guest, who I'll introduce to you in about a half hour. Eventually, he'll come on in about a half hour. He's looking for a new POS. And I'm not saying anything. I'm merely saying that if I asked our guest right now if that's a pleasurable experience, Rob, you've been around a long time. I know we didn't get to you yet, but that's not a pleasurable experience changing point. It's a big deal, right?
Not when you got as many stores as Shake Shack and Rob.
It's a big deal.
It's no small task.
But I will say that when we changed all of our restaurants, and granted we are not quite as large as the Shake Shack, and they just announced last week they'll be opening up 1,500 stores next week.
Yes.
So they've got a lot of work to do. But I will say that getting Toast, when we switched, it was the easiest switch ever changing. It was literally open a box, plug it in, and we were good to go. That's how it was. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get to our guest, Jimmy, because we got a great show.
All right. No, thank you, Shatsy. And yes, for those of you, our long-standing listeners, know that we release our podcast on Tuesdays. So we're going to kick off with Trivia Tuesday. I'm going to give you three factoids about our friend Rob. 2 are true. 1 is not true. That's often called a lie. And at the end of the episode, Shatsy's going to tell us guess which ones were true and which one was less than. Fact 1, Brian Nickel used to work for Rob. It's an interesting tidbit. Fact 2, if it's true. And if it's not true, it's cool why. Fact 2, Rob gave his first Arby's conference presentation with his fly down.
Rob, if that's true, Rob, I am shocked. He's laughing. Maybe it's true.
By the way, if it's true, first of all, kudos to him for the admission. And by the way, I might shame some of his handlers as to, hey, buddy, your fly's down. But okay, we'll find out later. And then finally, Rob played college football. And we've had a number of college football players. We've had some large people on this episode.
We have, Jimmy.
So I'll just say, Rob.
When I think college football, you know what immediately comes to mind? You.
Me.
Yeah, you.
You didn't play college football?
You.
Me. This
Yeah,
guy.
but you played high school football?
I played,
dabbled?
I dabbled. Okay, so there you have it. Fact 1, Brian Nickel used to work for Rob. Fact 2, gave his first Arby's customer conference presentation. A little chilly, fly was down. Fact 3, Rob played college football. Stick around, and Shatsy will guess, and we'll shame him if he gets it wrong.
We do have to go into a little segment called How Did You Get Started? I just made that up, by the way.
Yeah.
How did you get started? Here it is, the new segment. How did
You want
you
to be
get
the
started?
CEO of Shake Shack.
So, first of all, Rob started at age 14, okay, in food service, okay? Very young, working through college in various pizzerias and sub shops. At 14, I want to find out what Rob did. I don't have that on my notes here, what he did at 14. I don't even know if he got paid.
The statute of limitations has expired. If he did or he didn't, it doesn't matter now. So whoever was employing him,
he went to the University of Rochester,
yes.
Jimmy. So he knows a little something about cold weather
and
football. Great football over there in Rochester, right? What's the mascot for Rochester?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that. I do not know.
Rob?
Hail the Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets.
Okay, so he knows it's the Yellow Jackets. He went to Rochester. I'm just trying to. So he could have played football over there. He went to college thinking that he'd be a lawyer, Jimmy.
Is that right?
Well, Jimmy, you're half lawyer on your dad's side, right?
10%. And
wanted to be a lawyer.
10%.
And his mom was happy.
Sure.
His mom was happy. And then he thought he wanted to go to finance. And his dad was happy. So his mom and dad were both happy because finance lawyers, I mean, what mother wouldn't be happy with that, right? A professional, right? But he didn't. He went to Procter & Gamble for 7 years at Procter & Gamble. He's slinging toothpaste and whatever else they're selling over there, mouthwash. And you know what? He said, I hate toothpaste. I hate mouthwash. I hate Procter & Gamble. I don't like anything about it. I don't even like the name. And you know what? He went to Heinz. Because you know what he's always loved? Ketchup. Hold that thought because it's going to come back to that. He always had an affinity to ketchup. As a young child, he would play with ketchup, rub with ketchup, he'd paint with ketchup, love ketchup. The guy was obsessed with ketchup. He goes to Taco Bell. You know what he realized? At Taco Bell, he's a vice president of marketing over there. Jimmy, no ketchup.
Salsa,
right?
Salsa.
Not ketchup. It's a different condiment, but very popular, but not ketchup. He's upset. So you know what he does? He goes to Arby's. You know why?
They got ketchup?
Damn right. And he becomes the chief marketing, the first CMO at Arby's, okay? And he's there for 7 years, and he's back to ketchup. Ketchup is in his life.
They got the au jus, too. They got the cheese.
But he doesn't care.
They got the meats.
Remember, I told you, Heinz ketchup. Procter & Gamble, bad. Heinz ketchup, good. And then he goes, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to Papa John's. And becomes the president and CEO of Papa John's. Papa John's, big, right? He's there for 5 years. But you know what he realized after he went there? No ketchup.
No ketchup.
And he's so
tomato
upset.
Sauce.
It's tomato sauce. He's like, what did I do? I love ketchup. So then, lo and behold, Jimmy, in 2024, after killing it at Arby's, by the way, the guy took Arby's from literally, they were out of business. They did $12 cents. He gets there. It explodes to we are the meats, right? That was his idea, by the way.
We've got the meats.
That was his idea.
Yes.
Well, he started with we are, and somebody said, no, we've got the meats. Something like that. And then he went to Papa John's, explodes Papa John's, and then Shake Shack is like,
comes knocking.
Who is this guy that loves ketchup? And let me tell you, in May of 2024, Rob Lynch becomes the CEO, chairman, president of Shake Shack. Rob Lynch, welcome to the show. How'd we do?
You know, you nailed it.
Nailed it, Jimmy.
And I couldn't have said it better myself.
All my notes are correct. You see?
Yes.
How much do you love ketchup? Tell us.
Oh.
You know, my growing up in Pittsburgh, ketchup was actually a big part of our lives there. And I got to tell you, my wife loves ketchup even more than I do.
Is that possible?
And she used to put ketchup on everything. She would put ketchup on ketchup.
Is that because you're from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh?
I mean, she just grew up. I mean, they put it in our baby formula.
It makes a lot of sense. So now he's at Shake Shack, and you know what? He's feeling happy. You know why? They got ketchup.
Good ketchup.
And I heard he's switching brands. How could he do that to Heinz? He's leaving. Is that breaking news? He's leaving Heinz? I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm looking. Are they going to
Badger? No, Kensington.
Yeah,
Heinz, definitely Heinz.
Kensington.
I was like, do you know something?
No. Listen, we're going to dive in, and thank you for indulging us with our intro. We've been told that it's too short. We got to make the intro longer before we bring the guest in. When Shake Shack went public in 2015, there was an ambitious plan to reach the goal of 450 corporate-owned units. The company's now already at 300, and I understand you and the company have now raised the bar, tripling, as Shatsy mentioned, getting to the goal is now 1,500 units.
In a week, Jim.
Respectfully, not by next week, but there's a roadmap.
I was at ICR, you said a week.
But that's an incredible growth strategy. Can you walk us through it? Walk us through the growth strategy. What's driving this massive expansion? I have ideas, but I don't have to share my ideas. You're here.
Yeah.
So what do you got?
So back in 2015, Shake Shack, when they went public, had 31 restaurants. And that was a big deal. Coming out of Union Square Hospitality Group, Danny Meyer had never had 2 of anything. So to have 31 was a really big deal, and they threw out this wildly outrageous, crazy number of we can get to 450 someday. And back then, when they went public, they really had this vision for what Shake Shack was going to be. It was going to be a lot like it was here in New York. Big restaurants, urban areas in other cities. And they'd had some success going outside of New York and okay, we can do 450. Well, since then, the company has really gone a long way to building confidence that we can actually succeed in really any market across the United States. We're now in over 30 states, doing really well. We've got some of the highest sales per unit across the industry. And, we're also working really diligently to open new formats. So, the pandemic really impacted a dining room business, and the brand started branching out into drive-thrus. Now we're looking at opening up a full bar within a Shake Shack.
Is that breaking news?
I don't. Maybe for your audience.
For our audience,
Jimmy, this is just coming through the wires. We are breaking news on the Hospitality Hangout, as you know we do. Rob Lynch, Chairman, CEO, and President of Shake Shack, just announced they will be bringing a bar into Shake Shack. Tell us more about that. That is interesting.
Before we go any further, I have to disclose.
Do I have to take that? Do I have to
I don't want Danny, who's a big fan of the show, Danny Meyer, to listen to this and think I've tried to steal his job. He is our chairman. So
yes.
I'm the CEO.
Yeah. So is that breaking news?
By the way,
he's been around since the beginning.
Yeah, Shatsy loves giving out titles, and sometimes he offends the person who has the title.
Yeah, listen to the podcast, Rob. By the way, you're fired. I'm the chairman.
I'm the chairman of the board. I'm the Sinatra of this organization.
You're the CEO. Be happy with that. Oh, that's awesome, though.
Yeah.
I love it.
So we're doing a lot of different things, and that gives us confidence that we can go out and find the real estate to open up new shacks. We're building our operational capabilities. We can operate them really efficiently. Our margins are good. The returns we're getting are great. So that gave us confidence to go out and say, hey, we think we get to 1,500 shacks, which is, another big aggressive goal, but we're really excited about it.
That sounds like an awful lot of stores, but, and also just in a period of a week. But listen, Rob, you've done it before. You'll do it again. So we'll have him on the show next week, and we're super excited. Let's talk about the journey as a CMO to CEO, because I got to tell you, I see, Jimmy and I see a trend.
I heard you guys are hungry.
Is this, oh my goodness, what's going on here?
I'm hungry here.
We have, oh my goodness.
Is there any ketchup? I mean,
we need some Heinz ketchup here.
Heinz.
We have just gotten in, ladies and gentlemen,
sponsored by our friends at Heinz.
We got some
Sneaking behind you.
ketchup for
I'll say thank you so much.
Shake to the big guy.
Thank you.
Oh,
Oh,
you
yes.
too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. Truffle burger, I
Oh,
said?
baby.
Truffle burger and one packet of ketchup.
Okay, yeah, I don't need anything else. Just
I don't
the
think
ketchup
Heinz
is
is
good.
sponsored, by the way. Should they be? Oh, that is some good Crinkle-Cut fries right there.
Breaking news. More ketchup.
Oh, more ketchup. I can take it with me.
All right,
This is
more
good.
ketchup.
Wow,
We
the
got
crowd.
some dipping sauces.
The crowd is really loving it here.
All right.
All right, I don't know why this came in at this particular moment. We're
I
just
love
getting into the CMO
There we
thing.
go.
Yes. Keep
But
going, Shatsy.
this is marketing at its finest right here on the show, live from the Hangout. So Jimmy and I have been talking a lot about CMOs and CEOs, and it seems like there's a big trend. I just sent an article to Jimmy just maybe a week or so ago that no offense to the CFOs out there, CFOs are kind of out as becoming the next CEOs. No disrespect to the finance people and the CFOs out
I'm
there.
feeling very, very disrespectful.
But it has certainly seen a trend in the restaurant hospitality space. It seems like the CEOs now, CMOs are in flavor to be the CEO. So let's talk a little bit about that. What is it that the CMO, the chief marketing folks, have? What skill sets do they have that is now resonating with brands today? Because obviously financial skill set's important, but it seems like the marketing people are what everyone is gravitating towards.
Yeah, I mean, our business is a revenue-driven business. Our business is an innovation business. It's a growth business. And, historically, CMOs have been, the best trained, best positioned leaders to drive that. I mean, another thing, I know you said I hated Procter & Gamble. I actually love Procter & Gamble.
To all those people out there in Procter & Gamble world, Rob loved it over there, and he loves you, and he loves everybody.
I learned
best years of his life.
I learned almost
everything
I know of Procter & Gamble, and have brought it along the way. And really, it's about how to build an innovation pipeline, how to take ideas and bring them to fruition, and make it work in the P&L. So having that kind of holistic perspective that always starts with the customer, or in our case, our guests, is I think a key component of success in the restaurant business.
And I would think, do you think like social media today is obviously a big part of our culture today, and it hasn't been. So is the trend that marketing people understand the wants and the needs of the guests and the changing flavor profiles, so they make for a more natural progression to be the leader of these brands like Shake Shack?
Yeah, I think if you have a great CMO, you're going to get that. I think what a CMO going to a CEO role is just about understanding that, like, it's all about the guest.
Right.
And somebody told me a long time ago, and you're not going to cost your way to success. And like at Shake Shack, the things that are super important to us is how we differentiate in a very competitive industry, the product quality, the beauty and hospitality we offer at the assets relative to the competition. Those are the things that stand out, and those are the things that I think you're not going to nickel and dime, right? We're not going to change the quality of the beef. We're not going to, and a CMO, I think, is throughout their careers kind of focused on those things, and that's why.
So is it basically what you're saying, if I may, is if you're a CFO currently in a restaurant position, you should really look for another job because you're never going to be the CEO? Is that? I mean, I feel like that's what you're saying. If you're currently a CFO, go find another line of work outside of restaurants because you're never getting that gig. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
He said yes. Okay, we got it out of him.
That's exactly what I was saying.
CMOs rock, CFOs don't. Not so much.
As branded finance guy, as someone who's committed his career to that.
Get down here now, Jimmy. You were up here. Now get down here.
I want to be clear.
Yeah.
I agree with Rob. It was about 2 decades ago, someone was talking to me about the right side of the brain and the creative side of the brain, and how if anything is rules-based, it can, to a certain extent, be outsourced. To a certain extent, and I don't think they talked about it then, but AI and other types of, quantitative models and otherwise could actually, to a certain extent, really do that work. But the creative side remains something that has been, requires that type of skill. So I'm agreeing with it. And I'll go further and just say, I don't know if it started with the marketers or it was a response to social media, but at the end of the day, personalization and the need to guests to feel a connection, that's a very personal connection, dovetails so directly into the marketing roles.
Yeah, but I would even say that having a strategic CFO who understands the importance of being guest-centric is an amazing asset in our business.
You feel guilty about your CFO now, right? I feel a little guilty
I got the best CFO in the world.
But you do feel a little guilty now that we've been bashing the CFO.
I'll say this, the CFO to me, that's like the left tackle. In the spirit of football, that could be the fullback.
Yeah.
That's great protection for your quarterback. Your quarterback's your CEO, and then it's the CMOs who are taking on the role. I agree with it.
It's
I want to shift gears to the technology side. Shake Shack was built and you mentioned Mr. Danny Myers, but it was built on his enlightened hospitality principle, which is really about the human connection. And his book, which I read, actually was impactful to me, and I once told him that. I'll give him a shout out now for it. It meant a lot to me to how you can connect not just restaurants, but also enlightened hospitality and the investment side. But now you're creating a digital experience that actually enhances hospitality through personalization, which we just touched on, suggesting items based on order history, comprehensive, tech stack. My question: how do you balance that human touch with digital innovation, and how does it fit into your vision of the future of Shake Shack?
Yeah, Danny's an icon, and when you actually go into his fine dining restaurants, and I had the good fortune to do, they call it trails, where I'm following some of these folks in the restaurant to kind of understand how the fine dining works. You actually see they're leveraging technology too. When they come in and they say, "Hi, Shatsy, how are you?" and you're like, how have you been? "Oh, great, today's my birthday." They're putting it into their database, Oh, my wife Susan's coming. Oh, they're putting it in, putting that into the database. Sure. So it's about collecting information and being able to deliver it in a customized way that makes you feel special, right?
Yep. Without being creepy.
Exactly. Like, we're not gonna, send you something like, "We saw where you were yesterday."
So you ate across the street yesterday at another restaurant. Yeah, no, it's not being creepy.
We noticed how much you like ketchup.
Yeah,
that would be creepy.
Well, that was my creepiness.
Yeah. And so, bringing that to life, we've got more tools to collect that information than ever before, but bringing it to life in a way that's not creepy and is actually something that people value versus feel being bothered by is the trick in today's digital age. And I think, we do, for our size company, we do a really good job at it. It's something that's a priority for us, something that we focus on, but we're always trying to strike that right balance you talked to.
I love it. I was just taken back that Jimmy got a burger. I'm looking like I got French fries over here.
He did.
I didn't want to make.
How did Jimmy get a burger? Why did he get a burger?
He didn't just get a burger.
What did he get?
He got a truffle burger.
That's like high-end super deluxe.
That's a $25 burger
Premium.
that we sell for $11.
A $25 burger that you sell for $11.
Yeah.
So you guys are taking a beating on that. That's how Shake Shack operates. Jimmy, it's not about money. It's not
So
about
we don't
profit.
care about costs.
No, you know what it is?
That's a CMO for you.
Exactly. That's why you need to get the CFO back. He's like, "All right, listen, Rob, I went through the numbers. We're getting crushed on this truffle burger.
But people love it.
Delicious.
Let's keep it going.
Rob, you got to go back to Arby's."
That's when the pendulum will shift. When it's like we sell things below wholesale. How do you make money? Volume.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to open 1,500 more stores, and that $11 burger that should be $25, we're going to sell more of them, and we're going to make a fortune. Let's switch gears a little bit, because I got to tell you, Jimmy and I travel a lot, and we are big Delta fans. Jimmy? Delta is ready when you are. I don't know if they use that anymore, but I like that line. I'm going to stick with
You
it.
keep singing. Toast asked me not to sing.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they said, Jimmy,
okay.
don't sing.
Well,
on the
I got to
show.
tell you, we're big, and a big announcement that you guys have. It's probably not breaking news now, right? Because it's been out for a little bit, but to some people it might be. But the Shack burgers are now on Delta. Not all flights, which is something I'm going to have to ask you why the Boston market gets the Shack burger and the New York market doesn't. I'm a little upset about that. But how did that all go about? How did the Shack burger become part of the Delta? And I know you guys have a relationship with Delta, like in curating like the first class and Delta One and stuff like that. I think Union Square Hospitality has been doing that a while. Give us a little bit the Shack burger and how's it going and what are people thinking? Is it travel well? Is it good at 35,000 feet or is it better at ground at sea level?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the decision on New York or Boston was made by the CFO.
Of what company?
I didn't make
It was
that
the
decision.
CFO of Shake Shack. Yeah, that's a marketing decision right there. And he made the decision. Damn it.
But no, actually, it's been in the works for about a year now. And the biggest, most important thing is that our quality would not be compromised, right? Because it's, when we're making a Shack burger in the Shack and serving it to you, it's fresh. It's everything we make is made to order, fresh when you order it. So obviously, delivering burgers on an airplane that's been in the air for an hour or 2 hours is a hard thing to deliver the quality. And so we really focused on that. And the reason why it's only in one market is we wanted to make sure that that was going to be the case.
But why not New York first? I mean, you're a New York brand.
It all comes down to
CFO.
What's
the
back,
CFO's
once again,
name?
back
We got to bring him into this.
Katie.
Should I call Katie? Can we? I mean, we call Katie and bring her to the conversation because
Trust me, every decision Katie makes is a pretty good one. So
except for that, though.
you know.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to talk to Katie. I'm gonna find her number, and give her a call. We get her on the show, Jimmy. You can call her up and find out why Katie went with. But is Katie from Boston?
How about you maybe look at it differently?
What?
One of two things. Maybe Katie. Maybe she went to school in Boston. Maybe she's from Boston. Maybe she's been
That's
bred up.
selfish, Jimmy.
Or maybe she's like, you know what? Before we go to the Big Apple, let's go test on a great city, smaller city.
I see.
Great airport, smaller. Logan, nice.
Oh, Logan,
Let's
not
go.
LaGuardia.
Not LaGuardia. Not JFK.
You bring up a good point.
Let's test before we go further.
All right, well, I'm going to ask Julie, our producer, to get me Katie's information. I'm going to say, how do I get to
Don't
chat?
do it, Julie. I
Katie-
need to protect
Katie-
myself.
yeah,
here.
Katie's not taking your call.
See if we can get Katie on the line and answer.
While you're looking for Katie, I want to jump in. You mentioned earlier Shake Shack's. I want to talk Shake Shack's performance. You're hitting over $4 million of AUV. And just since that acronym and that number might be somewhat blind or you need a benchmark, that is more than 95% of restaurants out there in that similar quick serve, fast casual sport, okay? 95% better. Now you're scaling is a challenge. Scaling tremendously, but it's also hard to maintain quality. That's that balance. So you've mentioned that every Shake Shack was originally, its own unique story, but that was a challenge to scale people and processes and tech and whatnot. So how are you approaching this balance between the standardization, which allows you to grow and now achieve from 300 to 5x that, while still keeping each location and what makes it special?
Yeah, I mean, that's the challenge with every in any brand in our industry, or frankly any industry, when you're evolving from where you are today and much larger aspirations, right? You have to really understand the things that are non-negotiables. Danny talks about non-negotiables all the time, like things that you're just not going to change, and that we won't pre-make burgers in our shack. They're going to be made fresh when you order them. But that doesn't mean we can't find better ways to do other things that help us become more efficient, get better and faster. I mean, one of the things, it's interesting, in the original shack in Madison Square Park, people used to wait 45 minutes for a cheeseburger and for a shack burger, and that was like a source of pride for the brand. And so speed has never been a big thing. It's like, hey, people are going to wait. This is so good, and people still wait. We have long lines at our shacks, but we aspire to get faster so we can, especially as we're opening up drive-throughs, people care about how long it takes to get through a drive-through. So those types of things where we're still going to keep the product quality, we're still going to keep focus on our team members and make sure we're taking care of our communities, but we are focused on getting faster, getting more efficient, more productive, and those are the kind of things that are going to help us scale.
I still say I think that it's a New York brand, and I got to tell you, I love the Shack, but I love Shake Shack. I think it's the best.
I'll throw it.
I'm just saying that Rob's here. If Rob wasn't here, I'd tell you that because I talk about it all the time.
I love the logo. And with the bun.
Well, that was Rob's idea.
The bun and the
Katie had like a piece of pizza.
No,
up
the
there.
bun and the patty and the
I love you,
and
Katie.
the green. And look, I'll admit, I said this to Rob earlier. My daughter, she is every Wednesday night Shake Shack is her go-to meal. That's what she wants. Often twice a week, but she's 8 years old, and she's already figured out that is her brand. There are other burger concepts that she's aware of. No thank you. She sees that green bun with the stuff in the middle, and that's the logo she wants. That's what she wants to eat, and it's resonating with my friends, and it resonates with my daughter and her crew. It's amazing. Really.
I love it. Well, Jimbo, we gotta take a quick break.
Yes.
We gotta take a quick break. So don't go away because we are going to be right back with what?
Did you like your burger?
I didn't get my burger.
Okay, I didn't remember that. Sorry.
$25 burger Jimmy gets. He doesn't even know what the hell he's eating over there. I mean, I know what a truffle is. We are back, guys. We are back live. I think you heard some little banter over there. Jimmy sucking down that Shack burger with truffles on it like it's his last supper over there. I mean, by the way, he ate lunch, and he's going to have another lunch after that. It's horrible that I get French fries. There's nothing wrong with French fries. They're delicious, by the way. All right, so we actually have a caller. We are going to be speaking to Jeff Alexander. Jeff Alexander, is that you?
Here I am. This is me.
Jeff
I am.
Alexander, you are live right now on the Hospitality Hangout with the CEO of Shake Shack, Mr. Rob Lynch. formerly of one of the greatest football players the University of Rochester had ever seen. Broke many of the records. I don't know if you guys know each other. All right, are you ready? I gotta find the hot or not though.
Jeff,
Here it is. Jeff, are you ready?
I don't know what I'm ready for.
All right, we're gonna do
Go
a
ahead.
little hot or not. We're gonna do a little hot or not. We asked Rob 4 hot or nots. He answered. Jimmy opined. We're gonna ask you the same questions and see how we do. Are you ready, sir?
All right.
Jeff Alexander, chairman, founder, CEO of Wow Wow. Here with Rob Lynch, CEO, chairman, president, CFO, CMO of Shake Shack.
You're getting Rob in trouble.
Hot or not? Drive-throughs,
Hot.
Hot.
LTOs,
Hot.
Hot.
drone delivery,
Not.
Hot.
celebrity food collaborations.
Hot.
No, I think that's not.
Not hot. Interesting, Jimmy. Interesting. Well, I got to tell you. So anyway, Jeff, it was great having you.
Looking forward to having dinner with you, Rob.
Thanks,
All the
Jeff.
best, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
Jimmy, care to pick one or two to talk a little about why Rob thinks some of these are so hot?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to go working backwards. The celebrity side. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, we are driven by culinary. I mean, doing pop-ups and collaborations with celebrity chefs is a big part of kind of what we do. And I think our food inspires people that are creative. And so these celebrities want to come in and be a part of what we're doing. And I think it adds a lot to our brand.
I think it's great, and I can see why celebrities would want to be associated with your brand because it is so embraced and loved that's positive. I want to ask one more. I also want to touch on LTOs, limited time offers. I know for a lot of restaurants, they're trying to use it as a way of spike some attention and butts and seats. But I imagine it's more to it than that and what information you garner. So talk a little about LTOs and why that's hot for you guys.
Yeah, for us, once again, like our legacy is grounded in culinary excellence. Coming out of USHG with all their great fine dining concepts, bringing new exciting flavors like your truffle burger. I mean, no one else is doing a real truffle burger. People aren't doing Korean chicken sandwiches. People aren't doing the things that we do. We kind of push the boundaries. Now, it's hard to put that kind of stuff on the menu because of the supply chain and operational impact. But for an LTO, you do it for a limited time. It just keeps the brand vibrant and lets us tap into that culinary expertise.
Is the mushroom burger, the truffle burger that Jimmy's wolfing down that's almost gone, is that an LTO?
It is.
Is that what's the best LTO you guys did?
That one.
That one right
Yeah.
there. You go. Okay, there you go.
Like
All
I
right.
said, a lot of people want a $25 burger for $11.
There you go.
Yeah, wait till Katie finds out.
Can't let
She
supplies
is
last.
not going to be happy about that. All right, let's get to the food service feud. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to spice things up with the food service feud, okay? Rob, you've seen this before. It's our family feud. I know that you've stayed home and watched this many times. Probably old enough to remember. Who was the guy who did it from Hogan's Heroes, the original one?
Richard Dawson.
Yeah, Richard Dawson. And he kissed everybody. He was a big kisser.
Big kisser.
I don't think that...
Big kisser, big hugger.
Big kisser, but he kissed all the ladies, right? Big kisser.
Big kisser.
It was kind of weird. I guess that was a thing in the 70s or 80s. I don't think you could do that today.
You have to ask.
You got to ask.
You gotta ask.
All right, Rob, here we go. So we've got 20 seconds on the clock, and we are going to mute Jimmy. I am going to mute Jimmy. Jimmy, let me just make sure you
Bye-bye.
mute. Jimmy, can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
No.
You swear.
No, I can't.
You can hear me?
Well, I can't hear you in my headset, but I'm sitting in the same room.
Oh, Jesus, Jimmy.
You asked me to swear. I mean, I'm not going to lie.
All right, well, just pretend you can. I turn your earphones
I can't
off.
hear you in my headset, but we are in the same room.
Can you still hear me? You're reading my lips. You can't hear me.
As long as I don't have to swear,
All right,
I
listen.
can't hear you.
Just, Jimmy, you can't hear anything, all
I
right?
can't hear anything.
All right, here we go. Rob, fast money on the feud. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go.
You're not going to kiss me, are you?
No, I'm not going to kiss you. I'm just going to go right with fast money. Fabulous prizes. We are playing right now for $25,000.
Wow. That could buy a lot of truffle burgers.
That is for the...
Not as many, though.
No,
as you
but
think.
that is going to be for Rob and Jimmy and the Frischling Lynch family.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, here we go.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, you can't hear Jimmy.
Sorry.
Well, Jimmy. All right. Here we go. And the clock starts. Name a burger topping that people either love or hate.
Onions.
What's the first thing people do when food arrives?
Smile.
What's the most popular side order with a burger?
French fries, of course, with ketchup.
Speaking of French fries, name the most popular cut of fries.
Crinkle-Cuts.
Name something that makes a burger premium.
The quality of the ingredients.
Okay, quality. All right. That's we got Rob in. We're gonna bring Jimmy in. I'm gonna turn Jimmy's mic back on and his head. Jimmy, you have not heard anything. Am I right?
I've heard nothing.
All right. Let's see how many points we got on the board over there. Let's see. Julie, you gotta add this up for me, Julie. Are you adding that, Julie? I don't see you adding.
I think this section has potential.
All right,
it's got potential.
This is the second time we've done this segment.
time.
We're working.
It's got potential.
We're going to work the kinks out. I promise. All right,
got potential.
Jimmy.
190 points on the board.
Yeah, we'll work.
I think we can only get 200 points, Julie. I don't know what the hell's going on here. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Right.
Jimmy.
Yes.
You are back in. Your headphones are live, and you are ready. Right.
Yes.
I asked Rob these questions. He knocked it out of the park. You are now playing for a lot of money.
Yes.
All right. Let's put. Is it 30 seconds? How many seconds?
I think I get 15 because I'm second.
You get 15 seconds?
I get less time, I think.
Really?
no,
You get more
actually,
time.
no, I take it back. The second person gets more time. Right.
You get a. Yeah, you get a.
Well, that's the tricky
You want
part.
me to play that role?
Yeah, you can play that role.
I
All
said
right,
the
Jimmy,
same
if
thing.
Jimmy
It doesn't-
repeats,
yes.
you gotta
Yes.
honk him. All right.
Yes.
Here we go, Jimmy Frischland.
Yes.
Here we go.
I'm
Name
ready.
a burger topping that people love or hate.
Pickles.
Well, that wasn't the number one answer, Rob.
Just fun to push the
It's
button.
just-
Fun to
all
push the
right, no problem. It
Pickles.
is fun. You can keep
Pickles.
doing it.
Pickles.
All right, pickles. What's the first thing people do when their food arrives?
Add salt.
Salt. What the hell? Who's Jimmy? What's the most popular side order
French
for a
fries.
burger?
French fries.
Another answer, please.
Oh, I don't think a shake can count as a side order.
I don't think so, Jimmy.
Fine, I'm going hot dog.
That's a good one. I
I'm
love
going
it.
hot dog.
I love it.
I'm going hot dog
We
then.
get French fries. Name the most popular cut of French fry.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Classic straight cut. I'm sorry.
Straight cut, okay.
Classic.
Okay. Name something that makes a burger premium.
Higher quality meat.
I'm sorry, pick another answer.
Artisanal buns. Gourmet toppings.
Keep going, Jimmy.
How about E? All the above.
All right, we'll give you all the above.
Quality,
All right,
quality,
Jimbo,
quality.
I think you did really well. Julie is still adding up over there.
All right.
But let's go through it real quick. All right. So the burger topping, it was onions followed by
Onions.
pickles. Okay, that's
I got
big.
the number 2 answer. Okay,
So
I'll
you guys
take
are like
it.
at 50-something.
Yeah.
First thing people do when their food arrives, we have salt and we have smile. That was not on the board. Number one was take a picture.
Take a picture.
Okay, so you're still at 50-something.
Right.
What's the
Aren't
most
they
popular?
smiling when they take the picture?
Definitely.
They could be, depending on who they take a picture of. Okay, Rob got 135 points. I just got that. Okay, so Jimmy, you need 65 points to win. Right now, you have, we just added
I got
20.
pickles. That was second answer.
Yeah, we got 25.
Okay.
Okay, so let's Jimmy. I'm struggling with Julie's math right now. What's the most popular side order? It was
Mostly fries.
It was the number one was just straight fries.
What was number 2?
What was the most side? Wait. What's the most side order with a burger? Fries.
Arby's
Number
potato
2
cakes.
was onion rings.
Onion rings. Yeah.
So
I would have gone tater tots for number 2.
yeah, that's not even. We got pickles, coleslaw, milkshakes. Speaking of the number one answer on the fries was standard. Crinkles number 2. So we got that. Okay, Jimmy you got number one answer.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's got to get us over 200.
Something that a burger makes premium. It was the number one answer was truffles. Is the number one answer
Really?
makes it premium. Rob,
right there.
I am shocked that you didn't know that. The
Truffles.
number 2 answer was the type of beef, Wagyu.
Yes.
Specialty sauce. So I'm going to give you that. Anyway, all I know is you guys had over 200 and something points. You win. You win big stuff.
Big
you win
stuff.
big prizes. I don't
Big
know.
prizes.
Julie, we're going to have to work on that segment a little bit.
You have to whiteboard that section.
Yeah, that we're going to have to bring in some Katie on that one. to help us there because only a CFO can help us with that. That's a marketing person segment.
That's a lot of math in that segment for you, Shatsy.
Yeah,
that's
that's
All right,
too much.
at the top of the show, I gave you 3 factoids about our friend Rob. Shatsy's now going to guess which one's the not truth. Mr. Brian Nickel used to work for Rob. Fact 2, Rob gave his first Arby's conference presentation with his fly down. Fact 3, Rob played college football with the Yellow Jackets, the University of Rochester. What says you, Shatsy?
So I think, if I'm not mistaken, Brian worked at Arby's. Didn't he?
Are you asking? Hold on, Rob. Don't give it to him.
You couldn't even have your headsets off when I was doing the Family Feud. I can't.
I can hear you now.
I don't think. Trying to size Rob. Rochester, they have a football team over there. I mean, he said the Yellow Jackets or something. What's the team in Rochester?
Yellow Jackets.
Are they? No, what were they?
Yellow Jackets.
Yellow Jackets. If Rob played football. I don't think he did a conference with his pants, with his fly down. Somebody on the marketing team from Arby's would have picked up on that. He's working with ICR or something like that. They got quality people. There's no way he had his fly. I say that he worked with Brian Nicole. Nicole. I think they worked together. I think his fly is up. It was not down.
The fly was
and
the lie.
I say he played a little college football. Why can't he play football?
He can.
Why not, Jimmy?
I told you, look at the guns on this guy.
Yeah, I mean, in Rochester, why not? It's not like that's like a Division One.
It's not like the
Ohio
State.
It's not like the Ohio State or the Notre Dame.
No, just
or
Notre Dame.
the Wharton School of Business or the Kellogg School or right? Yeah, that's my guess. I'm
It's the
sticking with
University of Rochester.
The University of Rochester.
Yeah, I say Rob was the college football player.
All right, Rob, what says you?
So, I did play college football.
Okay,
I looked a lot different back in those days. I did give my Arby's conference with my fly.
Nice.
Rob,
it's a great story.
Who noticed it?
Well, let's hear the story.
Yes.
So I step out on stage. Well, I'm getting mic'd up behind you. I got the lavalier, and they're like, "Sir, we need you to put it all the way down." And I go all the way down. They're like, "Well, it's easy if you unbutton your pants." And so I unbutton my pants, and it goes all the way down and comes up the back. And when we closed everything back up, we only did it like halfway.
So excited about this conference.
So here's the funny thing. I come down off the stage, and our chairman points at me, and he goes, "Rob, your fly's down." I'm like, "Good, yeah, that's a good one, John.
Like break a leg,
That's a good one, John." He's like, "No, I'm serious." So the ironic thing is that the guy that I was introducing, his name was Harry Balzer.
Oh, that's perfect name for a fly down.
His name was Harry Balzer. He was the head of NPD, the research company.
Yeah.
And so he gets up, he gives like a 30-minute speech, and I get up back on stage and I say, "Before we continue with the program, I just have to address the elephant in the room. I find it ironic about my wardrobe malfunction while introducing Harry Balzer."
I love it.
And the entire franchisee group, everyone starts laughing. That's kind of like my first real
I gotta
interaction
tell
with
you.
him.
You owned it. I love it.
So Brian, never worked with Brian.
I worked for Brian. Brian is actually the guy that brought me into the business. Brian was the CMO at Taco Bell when he hired me as the vice president. Then obviously Brian went on to be the Chipotle CEO and is now the Starbucks CEO.
Oh, he was at Taco Bell first.
Yes.
There you go.
See,
the words matter.
Words matter. I got
not
it.
Brian
Okay.
worked for Rob. Rob worked for
Does Brian like ketchup?
Brian is from Philadelphia originally, so he actually,
mustard guy?
yeah. They actually Pittsburgh and Philadelphia don't get along so well, from what I understand.
Yeah. Why is that? Can't we all just get along?
You'd think.
So right now the Eagles are, in the playoffs. If you're a Steeler fan, you hate that, or are you like, oh, it's Pennsylvania, it's good for the state, or no?
The former, definitely not the latter.
Yeah,
in fact, I had to wear an Eagles jersey around the office yesterday because I had lost a bet to one of the people on my team when the Eagles beat us this year. So that was a tough day for me.
It's a tough day.
I walked around the office all day. Everyone kept saying, "Nice jersey." I said, "No, it isn't."
I gotta tell you, that's some good stuff.
I do love Philadelphia, though. It's a great market for Shake Shack.
Yes.
And
Great
Philly
city.
cheesesteak, one of my favorite things in the
Without
world.
a doubt. Where do you get? Where's your go-to for a cheesesteak?
I mean, you got to go Pat's.
Pat's.
Yeah.
Well, there's one across the street.
Yeah, but I go Pat's.
You go.
I
I had two. I forget what was across the street. I don't know. Julie probably knows that somewhere. We'll get that, but it's Pat's. All right, here we go. We're going into the Brandon Quickfire, one of the greatest segments on all podcasts. This is ranked by Nielsen Ratings. They gave this a 10 out of 10, and 100 million people said they love it so much that we're doing it with Rob Lynch, Brandon Quickfire, Shake Shack edition. Rob, are you ready?
Ready.
Who's your favorite CFO?
Katie Fogarty, hands down.
Katie Fogarty, number one answer on the board. Thank you. Favorite place to travel?
New York City.
Most used app on your phone?
My Tableau sales checking app.
Nice.
Interesting.
On it.
Interesting. Who's the number one artist, your number one artist on Spotify, like right now?
Mount Joy.
I'm sure I don't know that one. What kind of...
Check it out.
What is that? Is that rock?
It's rock. It's kind of rock, folk rock. Yeah. Great songwriting.
Mount Joy. All right.
Great
we're gonna get that. I'm
musicians.
going to pull that up on my Spotify. We're going to listen. We're going to put what Rob likes. What is your Uber rating right now, sir?
You know, it's 4.9, and I wish it was higher.
Why are you signed? That's freaking awesome.
Oh, really?
Strong.
4.9.
I will say the strongest Uber rating in this room right now
Is me.
would be Rob's.
Well, I mean, look, I haven't looked in a little bit. We just got back from a little bit of travel.
I mean, should we verify?
Yeah, we can verify.
You know, I'm always worried about the 4.9. I'm like, why isn't it
4.9. 4.9.
What are you doing that keeps you so? Are you tipping, babe?
I like to tip. I'm in the hospitality business,
Yeah.
and I grew up.
What's a tip
I
for
grew
you?
up living on tips.
What's
You know, it all
20%
depends.
or
It-
$5?
It all depends. Like if it's a $15 fare, then I go custom and I give them at least $5 or $6.
Right.
If it's a $120 fare, then I'll typically do 20%.
I'm down to a 4.8, Jimmy. I got to start tipping. Yeah,
No,
obviously.
I'm still a solid 4.86.
That isn't pretty good. At 4.9, Rob, that's
4.86.
very high. I mean, we had Jonathan Neiman from Sweet Green on. He was like a 4.3.
Yeah, I was worried about my rating. I took an Uber recently, and my guest in the car decided to eat his lunch in the car.
Oh, you told me
and
that.
The Uber driver looked at me and
Yeah,
looked
you
at both
can't.
of us.
Oh yeah, no, Rob. 4.89, Rob.
I'm sorry.
You can't. Yeah, you can't take liberties.
He's still hot.
Katie Fogarty would be not happy that 4.89. You're like going around telling her about 4.9. That's why he lies about the cost of that burger right there. He's like, "Oh, Katie, we're making a fortune this burger."
All right, it's $24.50.
Yeah,
not
Rob.
$25.
I gotta win that. All right, if you were to challenge Jimmy Wright to a game of Pictionary, what are your better odds of beating?
I think it's absolutely you, Shatsy, because it would be impossible for you not to do some type of verbal or, talking
I
clue.
would lose
yeah.
interest.
I
I would.
think
Oh, you
he's
can't
like the room.
speak during Pictionary.
Can't speak during Pictionary.
Can't move your hands.
Oh, you can't move your hands?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
not
think
good.
Rob read the room correctly.
Yeah, I think Rob did a really good job on that one. Without a doubt, I got to tell you, that was absolutely fantastic, Jimbo. We're super fortunate here. It's 1:02, Jimmy, so we got to get Rob out of here because we have him for an hour.
Yes.
And he's got those stores to open.
He's got
forget.
stores open. Rob, we want to thank
We're
you.
opening 300 today, by the way.
Today?
Yeah.
Today.
Who does that?
Big day.
Only a guy from Procter & Gamble can do that. McKinsey or Procter & Gamble?
Rob, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. I enjoyed having you in the studio. Thank you for bringing us delicious treats. Shatsy, I hope you enjoyed your fries because I love my LTO truffle burger. It was delicious.
So hungry right now.
Appreciate everything you and your team are doing, not just for Shake Shack, but for the industry. I think you are helping people raise their own games. And that's a good thing. We all want to strive to be better, and I think you guys are somewhat of a trailblazer. I think that makes all of us a little bit better. If you want to get in touch with Rob directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandonstrategic.com, and we'd be happy to make the connection. We're well into our seasoned veterans now, I guess. We don't give out personal emails or cell
Which
phones
I think
anymore.
is a mistake, Jimmy. I feel like that's you always talk about the whole village thing. It takes a village.
Yep.
If it really takes a village, Jimmy, you know what you should have on? You should be giving out cell phones.
You know what? They can contact us, and we'll make the connection. And then
Rob wants to hear from his guests, Jimmy.
And that, you know what? That's why they should use ovation.com.
Oh, don't start singing commercials.
And I'm not allowed to
Jimmy.
sing.
And you used the toast.com.
Sorry.
Toast Tab song.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to sing.
Toasttab.com.
I'm not allowed to sing. And to our listeners, as always, want to show a thank you and appreciation. You guys continue to download us, check us out, listen to us, pass it to your friends, and just really appreciate it. And we'll keep bringing great guests like Rob back to the show, and keep moving forward. So we're having a lot of fun.
That's the longest wrap-up I've ever heard in my
Cheers,
entire
everybody.
life. Well, yeah, I mean, I got to tell you, that was a long one. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, it's hospitalityheadline.com, where you can get some great information and really a great read every Saturday morning. This was awesome.
Thank
We
you
got to
very
say goodbye
much.
to Rob now.
Say bye to Rob. Thanks, everybody. Cheers. Thank you, Rob.
Great being with you guys.